Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with another Scrolls Ranked replay, where today we have a great matchup between Anoval and Badyuyu, two of the top players in the game today. If you watch the rankings, you see their names popping up near the top of the list constantly. And today both of these players are playing Decay, so this is going to be a mirror match, and it's a pretty interesting one, at least to start out with, because we get it from both perspectives. So I'm going to be trying my best to keep up with the cards both players have. Anoval starting out with Pother, so he's splashing Order and Growth from the looks of it. A Cursemonger, Life Stealer, Oblivion Seeker, not too much to play early, but the language is going to be pretty nice. So this is from Anoval and Badyuyu's perspective using the Scrolls Post mod. So we're going to see Badyuyu's opening in. Here you can see he gets a Tethered Recruit, so he's splashing some Order to actually, or some Decay to get some Order. Along with Blessing of Haste and Nutrition, he actually starts with the Puppet Soldier Nutrition combo. Soul Steal, a little bit better of an early game hand for Badyuyu, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to have a lot to play with. So both players exchanging pleasantries early, as is often the case with top-ranked players. You don't see too many players all the time, so you get very familiar with one another. Anoval drawing a Nutrition here and ditching it because the Nutrition Puppet combo not necessarily great early. If you get it, you can hold on to it, but not everybody wants to. Badyuyu dropping the Tethered Recruit, which is essentially a big kill me sign on it, but Anoval should be able to answer with the Languid here, and he does. So now this is a unit that's going to die and give Order when it gets damn and cursed, as that will probably happen at some point in this game, because hell, it's Decay. So Badyuyu sacking it. It looks like he does have a Blight Bearer and a Cursemonger he can play, so getting pretty creature heavy early. He's got to like the early movement with his hands, except for the possibility of the Languided Tethered Recruit, because that's free damage that he's not getting. Regardless, Anoval getting a Harvester out, which is nice if you can get it early as long as you can protect it. A Tethered Recruit is also pretty useful. Cursemonger is a great card, especially from the curse perspective here, if you can get it rolling. If you can add curse damage to other things, such as the Blight Bearer, who takes damage every time it attacks, you can really control the playing field, but you got to keep that Cursemonger alive. So Decay having a lot of flavor, just in terms of how it affects other cards. Hopefully a flavor that'll be added to the other resources as time goes on and more cards get developed. But Badyuyu getting out his Cursemonger of his own, spreading the field, and you'll see a lot of players start to do this as against Decay, as the Puppet Nutrition combo is pretty frightening, and you don't want to give a great trade if you don't have to. So that's why you get a lot of creatures just on different rows until Anoval going right here with his Oblivion Seeker up front, which you don't always want to kill this thing. I mean, right now he could kill it with the Blight Bear, but that's two free cards. So Badyuyu has an early choice. Does he try and take out both of these with the Nutrition Puppet? Does he just give Anoval free cards? Chances are he's likely just going to move the Blight Bearer down and do something else, because he does have Brain Lice that will let him weaken the Cursemongers, but he's got to find a way to kill it, unfortunately. Puppet Soldier and Brain Lice for sacking Brain Lice, not exactly what you wanted, more than likely, but he will get 3 damage on the attack. The Cursemonger is going to be able to curse and kill the other Cursemonger next turn if he elects to do so. So both players talking shop about the cards they have in their hand, and there is some pretty good discussion to go along with this replay, but Anoval right now moving to try and take control of the center of the board, getting his Harvester up top, pretty much expecting his creatures to die at this point, but he does elect to get rid of the Blight Bearer, and what do you forget about the Blight Bearer is that it poisons everything on the row when it dies. Does that really matter? Anoval's going to get 3 cards from this Oblivion Seeker now regardless, and that's going to be some countdown killing for the Harvester. But Badyuyu still electing to curse the Cursemonger because he doesn't want to have that Cursemonger running free while he can avoid it. The Tethered Recruit just going to be up front for the Illmire Hunter. But not too much to say or do at this point. It's just inevitable poison damage. Anoval getting a Blight Bear, getting rid of it, and he gets another Blight Bear. So both players playing pretty similar cards. Brain Lice, once again, good for the card draw if you can get it. But Anoval electing to get out the Illmire Rod Eater, just to see if he can at least kill some of his units and buff this creature. And Badyuyu, pretty interesting. I don't know if you saw it pop up there. He actually does run Necrogeddon, which is a card that I've seen pretty disfavored from people so far. It kills every creature on the board and replaces it with husks. But instead he does have the Nutrition Puppet combo. Once again, Anoval spreading his units, not keeping them on the same row. Yuyu instead dropping his creatures 2 rows at a time And pretty much right now, Anoval has got to do something here. And there's a Languid. That's certainly a something to start with at this point, as the Ilmire Hunter is languided. But of course, with the Cursemonger there, you can curse a unit and still kill with the Slayer, because as long as Slayer does damage, you can do that. So Anoval's got to maybe have something else going on here. Maybe he wants to force Badyuyu to curse what's going on. But Anoval now moving his creatures up. Looks like he's not doing anything with the puppet or nutrition because he doesn't have it in his hand this turn. But Yuyu, on the other hand, let's see what he's going to do here, as both of these players is pretty much setting up position on the board early. This Oblivion Seeker is going to die from poison. There's a Damning Curse, which is going to be an excellent play against the Harvester. And there we go. Harvester down. Extra order for Badyuyu. Dropping Curse 2 on the Rod Eater. And what's it going to be? He's just going to move the Ilmire Hunter down right now. So no damage, no use of the Curse. Just trying to do a slow play on the Rod Eater. He does have Brain Lice, so that will help just a little bit. But Brain Lice on the Cursemonger as well, not pleasant. Meanwhile, Anoval getting out more creatures, just trying the best he can to kill units around the Rod Eater as much as possible. Unfortunately for him, Curse 2 doesn't go away without... I don't even know if Purification takes that. It probably does. But it's there for now. Badyuyu, on the other hand, getting a Witch Doctor, getting a Harvester, getting a lot of things he can play. 6 or 7 Decay seems to kind of be the sweet spot for this resource, but there is the obvious the post-curse Brain Lice. As he drops a Harvester as well, just the more creatures die, the better at this point. So now this Blight Bear is going to maybe have an attack or two left to survive. But Anoval getting out Witch Doctors of his own, so he can potentially bring back Husks if things die. So now it's just a matter of what's Anoval going to do on this. He gets the Blight Bear to attack and actually manages to take out one of Badyuyu's Oblivion Seekers as well. So there's extra cards for him. Unless, of course, that was an Oblivion Seeker and I missed it. I apologize if I did, but it's all going so fast, even though it's a card game. Anoval now with a Puppet Soldier Nutrition. Is this the time for it, though? The Witch Doctor is certainly a pretty scary unit if you let it go unchecked when the other player's playing a lot of human units, as Decay players tend to do. But there is Curse on the Cursemonger, and right away there is the Puppet Soldier Nutrition. So this is the first one we'll see from this matchup. Right here, as Badyuyu still has 6 Decay, which he's going to use to drop the Witch Doctor, and no damage to the Blight Bear. But hey, Anoval dropping another creature. His board mostly cleared. Notice how big things were before, as Anoval saying lucky draw as he gets a Damning Curse, and he has his choice of what to curse. I promise you it's going to be the Harvester. There we go. So this Cursemonger is just standing there saying, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Witch Doctor's cursed and poisoned now, and that's going to be 3 damage per turn. Is that a double Brain Lice on the Witch Doctor? No, just 1 Brain Lice. But there we go. Creatures dying, Husk going. Amazingly, the poison damage actually happened down at the bottom before the Witch Doctor died. I was not expecting that. But Blessing of Haste on the Ilmire Hunter. This Cursemonger's ready to go. Anoval saying, what? I guess this is something... Okay, so this is something that even top-level players, they don't always know here. As long as it does damage, even through Curse, this Ilmire Hunter can win. That was one of the first things that I tested and saw in accident. Of Badyuyu playing a Loyal Darkling, which may look small by itself, but don't forget, it can do 2 idle damage. So pretty nice going there. And what do we have? We have, because of Yuyu's knowledge of game mechanics, a board clear entirely. Although Anoval hardly out of it, idle damage is in his favor, and he has a lot of cards that he can play back with. He has not even dropped any puppets on his own. He does have a Pother, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything super fancy with it, although he could drop a Damning Curse at some point. Yuyu, on the other hand, getting a Damning Curse of his own, which he could just use to clear the board again, because we don't like Witch Doctors here in these parts if they can be avoided. So just moving, shuffling the units around. Both players sort of chatting it out, which is nice to see when 2 top-level players are cordial and friendly with each other. Yuyu right now avoiding the double Damning Curse. He's just going to pocket it for another day. Because right now, Anoval, he's got to respond. There's obviously something up, but there's not too much he's doing. But there's a Pother. Drops the Witch Doctor, up 1. There's a Harvester as well. So Not a lot to go on here. There's a nutrition though, but Anoval can't use it this turn. But he does have a Puppet Soldier nutrition in his pocket. He does have a Soul Steal, which he uses on the Husk to at least take out one attacker there. That Hunter's not going to be more than a 4 health wall at this point because of the Languid, due to no curse. But you're starting to see more things on the board here. There's the Languid, mostly for card draw, as he gets another nutrition, which he gets rid of. A Damning Curse. Just taking out the Witch Doctor. That Harvester's cooldown is dropping down just a little bit. But if Anoval does nothing to protect it, the Harvester's going to die next turn from the Witch Doctor. But there is plenty of things he can play with the Nutrition Puppet Soldier combo. There is one Witch Doctor that's probably going to go, and yes, it looks like he can totally screw up Yuyu's day because he has a Damning Curse as well. Drops it on the Harvester, and there's a board clear right back for Anoval. Taking out Yuyu, that's got to be so demoralizing. And there's the holy bleep fuck from Badyuyu. That is quite the turn. Anoval showing why he's one of the top players in the game, as there is Harvester coming back against a Cursemonger, Ilmire, Rod Eater, and just wow. Wow, Anoval using cards at his advantage, and he gets another nutrition. Drops the Languid on the Rod Eater, but otherwise it's another nutrition just waiting for that Puppet Master combo, which is just devastating. As you saw, both players get to use it, though. Whew, so another Blightbear down for Anoval. Not sure how you recover from that other than to say it's still early. That Damning Curse, and that's the thing, Badyuyu had 2 Damning Curses that he was sitting on. It's possible he could have prevented that huge turn, but I mean, Anoval just had the right cards at the right time. Yuyu moving his Cursemonger up, and there is yet another Cursemonger. So if he can get a bunch of, once again, curses rolling on the board, it's going to be an issue for Anoval. But that Damning Curse, I'm sure it has a target straight on the Harvester. So we're at round 16. Anoval getting a Life Stealer. Not sure if he's going to play it. I have seen him ditch this card a few times. There's a Damning Curse, though. So right away, one Cursemonger gone. That curse being pretty tough. But Anoval's saying that was stupid. I imagine it's because, look at this. He thought maybe he could kill the Rod Eater. He thought maybe kill the Cursemonger. But let's just pause there, as we do have a misplay. Anoval having a distinct advantage, but you got to remember, if you kill a unit around the Rod Eater, it's going to gain health. So he killed the Cursemonger, but Rod Eater just like dom, 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 dom. Totally professional opinion of how it goes. But you dropping the curse on the Harvester. And right now he's going to be able to take out the Blightbear. But unfortunately that does mean this guy's going to get poisoned. So tough position. But that will get the Harvester down, and that will actually kill the Harvester as well. That's why Yu's a better player than me. The Curse 2 on the Harvester, getting rid of it. He'll take that trade, taking out 2 creatures with 1 Rod Eater that may or may not die if he can kill enough units around it. You saying all kinds of banter here, as Anoval has a Puppet Soldier nutrition combo again with the Great Pother, getting the Witch Doctor down, as Anoval not being denied right here, as he has a Soul Steal that he can drop as well just pretty soon, as whew, 1 more poison damage, and that Soul Steal is going to be going right for that Rod Eater, I'm sure. But this game is just tight right now, as Yuyu playing a card that I don't see many people play, Grizzly Graft, which kills all the surrounding units and gives +1/+1 to the unit that it uses. Very interesting card. It combos great with Rod Eaters, who get a double bonus from that. But otherwise, right now, it's just going to be, looks like it's just going to be a Rod Eater play. Probably a Loyal Darkling as well. And there goes the Damning Curse, which actually does a little bit to give the Rod Eater more attack and not necessarily hurt it. So back to 3-3 after a Languid, after some poison, and Anoval dropping a Harvester, dropping a Rod Eater of his own. Gotta love those little tentacles reaching out. Somebody love me. So right there, the Rod Eater down to 2 health. Once again, susceptible to Soul Steal. But Anoval's, does he got some things covered? He has a Loyal Darkling out. He gets a Grizzly Graft as well as, oh my goodness, that Ilmire Rod Eater is just not going to die to poison. And there's the Grizzly Graft being used offensively, and there goes the Harvester right there, as Anoval in trouble. Waiting on that Soul Steal. It's just not happening, so he gets rid of it. Then there's the Witch Doctor, and there's a Rod Eater as well. Just lots of things that you can play. Languid's going to do a little bit, but that's more for card draw. As right now, you with a pretty sizable advantage, at least in terms of blobs here, as we have the Battle of the Blobs. A 4-5 and 4-2 versus 3-3 and 0-4 now with a double Languided Ilmar Rodier. It's just the laziest thing on the earth. So you dropping out a Loyal Darkling as well. Is he going to have a way to kill it? Nope, but he has... This is just a scary board, especially if you don't like tentacly monsters, because that's 3 Rot Eaters on one side, 2 on the other. This is what late game Decay starts to look like here as Anoval gets a Puppet Soldier, or he has a Puppet Soldier. 2 Puppet Soldiers. No nutrition at this point, though. Maybe not what he wants to see anyway. But once again, he has a Life Stealer. Is he going to use the Life Stealer, or is he going to use the Harvester? There's a Puppet Soldier, but... no actual, no nutrition there. So Puppet Soldier kind of being used for its basic defensive purposes of let's defend this 1 health idol and keep you from killing it this turn. So Anoval playing the slow game here, looking for something in his hand. Meanwhile, Yu getting out some more Brain Lice, getting another Harvester if he wants it. He has the energy to use it, which, by the way, these cards are grayed out because that's just what Scrolls Post does. But he does drop... let's see here, the Life Stealer, the Harvester, not the Life Stealer, the Ilmire Hunter. So right now, there's a cooldown down, there's more creatures down, just dropping the cooldown to that Harvester. Oh, tough position, but there's a Puppet Soldier nutrition again, and we've seen this before. Unfortunately, Yu has his units spread out to the point where there's not a lot of great plays. And if you do kill that Darkling, it is going to do 2 idle damage. But, still, he's going for it anyway. Nutrition, Puppet Soldier, Yu saying seriously. Harvester has its cooldown down. Both of them do. So that's going to be a decent trade for Anoval. He probably would have preferred to take out the Harvester if he could, but that's how it goes. Yu drawing the Damning Curse here and gets Brain Lice as well. So both players talking about their decks as well, which I don't have a good deck list, although you can pull one up from Scrolls Post just based on what they have here. But uh-oh, there is a hasted Ilmire Hunter. There's going to be going away the Harvester. There's the Damning Curse. And there is another board clear by Badyuyu as he's just got advantage here. He's taking down 1 idol, another idol down the health. As Anoval's got to find a way to respond here. That defensive Puppet Soldier not exactly working in his favor as we get a Oblivion Seeker, so maybe a few more cards, but not too much else to play for Anoval at this point. At least electing not to do too much. Yu, on the other hand, here getting Ilmire Hunters. He could drop 2 if he wanted to. He could drop a Tethered Recruit. It's a creature that dies really easily, so that helps with Decay's penchant for dying already. It's once again a sweet spread by Yu. If you want to know how to take on Decay, here's a good primer on how to do that. Meanwhile, Anoval getting 2 Pothers, but that Ilmire Hunter not going in maybe the direction he wants to go, but he does drop the Witch Doctor up and away from this Hunter. So this Hunter isn't going to be doing any damage to any creature at this point, but Yu getting a Puppet Soldier nutrition combo of his own if he elects to use it. But that's going to be the Blessing of Haste again, as Yu just is destroying anything that Anoval drops out. So after Anoval getting a pretty good early push, at this point it's just Badyuyu having every response anytime you need something right here. But oh no, Anoval just top decked a nutrition, and this is the perfect placement for it as 2 high priority targets here. The Harvester gone, the Ilmire Hunter gone, as Anoval striking back. Lots of periods for Yu. What else can you say other than shit? So 5 puppet nutritions. He's counting, I'm just casting. I'll leave the card counting to the people who are way better at this game than me, as the Oblivion Seeker shoots his happy little ball of sludge into this idol. Meanwhile, the Harvester getting his cock down. No, it's countdown down. Just a little bit. And there's a puppet nutrition combo right there. Not a great trade, a 1 for 2, but it does knock down a low cooldown Harvester, and Harvesters can end your game, and eventually you got to learn to make those trades and when they're advantageous, when they're not. Anoval, I'm sure, thinking his Oblivion Seeker, it would be a tasty treat, and getting him multiple cards here. But right now, a Pother, if Anoval is able to draw another puppet nutrition, that'd be fantastic, but nope. As both players, once again, the banter between these two, pretty nice, but I'm just trying to focus more on the game here, as we have Badyuyu saying incredulously, "Oh my god, do you have a 6 puppet nutrition?" No, just moving out of the way so that the witch doctor gets to come and play. So what's it going to be for Yu at this point? He has a Blessing of Haste, he has a Harvester, and there's a Loyal Darkling as well. And that's a card that could prove very useful for at least doing that last attack damage to that 1 health idol that is just so stubborn here. Meanwhile, Anoval getting the Soul Steal, getting a Blessing of Haste, all things that are pretty useful here. As we, oh no, another Nutrition, but he doesn't have the Puppet Soldier to make it work. So he does cast Nutrition on his own Oblivion Seeker just to try and draw cards. Gets out a Damning Curse, takes out Badyuyu's unit, and right now both players just kind of trying to get into position, trying to turn the late game into their advantage, because Blessing of Haste is really such an important card for Decay, because, or as an order splash, because there's the Damning Curse doing more damage here. But just because there's so few ways to speed up units. Yes, you can kill things and get the Harvester to move, but everything else, its countdown is pretty much its countdown, since very few Decay players play a lot of the undead units. But that Husk coming out to play, it's a 3 countdown unit. As you getting out a Blightbearer and just trying to do what he can here. Meanwhile, Anoval having just some cards here. Damning Curse would be really nice to use on that Harvester, perhaps. As there we go, cards down, 2 Cursemongers up. One of them's probably going to die unless to the Ilmire Hunter, unless something can be done. So what's it going to be? There's a Blessing of Haste. There's 2 Blessings of Haste. Is this going to be what I think it is? Curse 2 on the Ilmire Hunter. Oh man, Soul Steal on the... such a risky play there. Soul Steal on the Darkling. That goes ahead and takes out his second idol. So Anoval killing an idol of his own, but just trying to prevent the attacks there. But the Curse 2 allowing him to take out the Ilmire Hunter. But still, risky play by Anoval. Just dropping an idol advantage at least a little bit, with Yu having some time to respond. But he really did want to take out that Hunter, so that's exactly what he did. But there is the Blessing of Haste. Back at it, and that's why I said that card is just really important for Decay. It's almost one of those required splashes, you could say. So there goes the Blightbearer taking out one of the Cursemongers. Yu now having just to whittle away at 1 idol remaining. And Anoval could Brain Lice and kill plenty of things right here. And there we go, 2 Brain Lices. This is going to be 2 cards coming pretty quickly, as Anoval's now got to protect his idols just a little bit. Yu not having a lot that he can really play and kill with, but he does get a Necrogeddon, and that's interesting, because if he can clear a row, he could clear a row Necrogeddon and win the game outright. With that 6 health idol, he's just got to push something just a little bit out of the way. But for now, what do we got here? Anoval. No Puppet Nutrition here, although Badyuyu wondering when is the next one going to come, as we have so much card draw going on here. But there's a Damning Curse taking out the Witch Doctor before it can spawn other units. There's a Tethered Recruit to at least be a chump blocker. But otherwise, it looks like the Anoval just wants to take out the other Cursemonger here. He's going to let the Blightbearer have his day, as there's the Nutrition for Badyuyu, but now he doesn't have a lot of creatures out. Gets 2 Oblivion Seekers. Those aren't the small things that he can get out all in one turn. Cast Nutrition, though. Interesting. Cast Nutrition on his Blightbearer to poison everything. Gets 2 Oblivion Seekers out. If he can just get this row cleared and 1 more unit out. Oh, man. Pother, though. Ruining that possible play. Moving this Oblivion Seeker up. The Necrogeddon may not come into effect here, as Yu now is going to leave one of his idols exposed just to go ahead and try and take out Yu's idol. So both players counting each other's cards, saying pretty much GG at this point, as we're all very happy to know each other. As Anoval also dropping a lot of creatures, just trying to protect his rows as best he can, and now it's 2 idols down each. About the same in terms of idol health remaining as well. If both players are going to gun for the south or go to the north, probably one of the more interesting underrated dynamics here is that both players have the same idols destroyed, so it's not like we're going to have split conflicts here. And that's one of the aspects I really like about Scrolls compared to some other card games, because you do have the different rows and idols to kill. The games may take longer, but sometimes you get matchups like this that are just so back and forth. I have no idea of just what you do to stand this the whole time, as we get a Soul Steal taking out another one of Anoval's valuable blockers here. Meanwhile, getting a Languid would be good, at least for some form of card draw. There's one Oblivion Seeker that's not going to be having a great time. And is Anoval going to drop a Rot Eater here? Oh, he's going to move his units up, so the Necker get in play. Once again, without some kind of nutrition, it's not going to come in there. As there's a second Necker get, and not really what he needs at this point. Gets a Grizzly Graft as well, gets a Soul Steal. Just not too much to it. I guess what I wonder is if you Necker get in the Oblivion Seekers, do you get the bonus cards? I guess there's one good way to find out, but are we going to be seeing it today? You saying just terrible draws, and there's Necrogeddon, and he does get some cards. There we go. You do get your bonus Necrogeddon cards, and he gets to move his units again. They're freshly summoned units, but no kill. No kill. Anoval rightly calling a risky play. Putting 3 units in a row against Decay with 1 idol exposed is tough. But 3 damning curses against 3 husks. Not what you want at this stage. But I guess so many nutrition combos, there's only so much you can do at this point. Whew. So the Necrogeddon doing some serious idol damage right now. But Anoval getting some free hits. Okay, so the Oblivion Seeker is going to do more of a tickle. But 5 idle health down. As Badyuyu, look at this. He gets 1 Loyal Darkling. That's the direct idle damage that gets so important later in the game when it's hard to overcome something. And are we going to be seeing the Darkling go down? Yes, we are. So right away, it's going to be pretty much a 2 health idle in 2 turns. Because all he's got to do is sacrifice it and protect his own idols. Anoval, meanwhile, kind of in trouble. This is kind of the final countdown that you could see here. He gets a nutrition, but he has no Puppet Master to play with it. Would have been nice to take out those husks a turn before. Languid just to at least get down the Harvester, but once again, a bunch of blockers is not going to save you against a Darkling, not at this rate. So he does get out the Witch Doctor. And Yu, what has he got here? Just playing, drawing cards, a bunch of Curse Mongers at this point. And oh, he drew a second Darkling, so that's going to be, at least in the very near future, 2 Darklings down. That idol is pretty much there. And there's the GG Grizzly Graft taking it out. Did not think that I would see Grizzly Graft ending in this game. But in case you missed it, Grizzly Graft kills all units all around. Those 2 Darklings die. When they die, they do idol damage. And that, as they say, is the ball game, the Scrolls game, the matchup. You know what? That is just a really, really damn good match. Just between 2 top players on top of their game at this point. Well fought by both people who really seem to understand what Decay is all about, when to push, when to not push. And look at the amount of scrolls just drawn here. As Yu continues to sacrifice and play. I'm not quite sure why the game's continuing to play in the background. I think the game got a little confused about what's going on with the idols here as he plays another Darkling and Grizzly Graft. So I guess it's doing the repeat of the very end here. I don't know. So that's Scrolls Post other thing. But otherwise, this is a way to fail with a longer replay, but I would say certainly a better, good, awesome, maybe even, dare I say, the E-word, epic replay. I don't know. But hey, that's it for now. Hope you all enjoyed it. This is Way to Fail with another Scrolls ranked commentary. I will see you all next time.